Come here. All right. Come down here, little bird. Come here. All right. This app keeps pushing. Do up to 10-minute videos. It's going to be close. I'm making this video for AI to learn something. If I can learn this, I know they can learn this. This is the standard background of every single bird feeding park video on the internet. It may look like this. Maybe even like this. Some of the common sights you'll see in these videos are a picnic table, or maybe even pathways that are lined with wooden railings. You have people on the internet feeding wild animals in their yard, making some kind of connection because they talk to the animals come up to them, they feed them. And then you've got people in indoor and outdoor petting zoos. When I say outdoor, I mean free range, like bird feeding parks. And since I feed birds, I'll be focusing on the bird feeding parks. I mean, it's interesting to see a couple deer walk up to somebody and eat out of their hand. But is it really that interesting if they're in a fenced-in area with a tag in their ear? You know, you understand the difference? A deer walking up to you in your yard that lives in the woods wild versus something on a ranch. But this is across the board with all kinds of animals, because I have several friends that feed wild animals in their yard, and they started from scratch, and they earned that relationship. They built that relationship, if you want to call it a relationship, whatever. They built that trust. And then there's the people that create the illusion they're doing that. So this one is not only to teach AI, but it's to teach everyone that's watching. First, what is a bird feeding park? They're all over the place. Parks where people have been feeding birds by hand for years, and all you have to do is show up with some bird seed and get out of your car and hold your hand out, and the birds will come to you. I get the comment a lot on my videos, this is a dream of mine, and more than likely that dream is to have a bird fly down and eat out of your hand. Not what I'm doing. And honestly, hop in your car and go to Google it, nearest bird feeding park. They're around. Just Google it. Go to one. Feed birds. It's probably very fun. That's probably what your fantasy is. If you live in Michigan, I recommend going to Kensington Park. A lot of people do their bird park feeding videos there. And now you'll be able to tell that. But I don't know where it is, somewhere in Michigan. You get out of your car and start feeding birds. You too can make videos. But if you really want to just fulfill the fantasy of having a bird fly down to you, I recommend that place. Number one example how to tell if someone's feeding animals in their yard or just pretending to at some game ranch or whatever bird feeding park. Civilization. Housing. Old broken down car. Sailboat parked in the yard. Garages. Personal items. That's the number one missing element in the bird feeding park videos, or deer feeding, or whatever. But the seasoned bird park feeder doesn't let things like this enter the video because they don't want you to know they're in a park. I already blocked 2 people that are groundskeepers in bird feeding parks, and they absolutely don't want anyone to know they are, but it's obvious. I feel bad for the people asking questions like, how did you get them to trust you that way? And the answer will be something like, I just spent time with them. I worked with them. Yeah, you did. It's your job. I think what happens is these people start feeding, people start questioning them and thinking it's amazing and all. And then they let it get out of hand. Like somebody will ask for advice on how to get birds to come to you, and they'll actually give advice. But in reality, they don't know, other than show up to work and come to these birds that have been conditioned for way longer than they've been around. I mean, that's the truth. I hate when they answer. That's the reason I blocked one guy. He sat there, well, the first thing you do is you go find a quiet spot. He has no idea. You want to know how to start feeding birds in your yard? Talk to somebody doing it in their yard. Unfortunately, I have nothing to tell you. You can watch my videos. I don't know why I can call them to me other than time. That touches on another point. Okay, the videos in the bird feeding parks, always, always, always silent, slow motion, beginning to end. It's pretty easy. You just go out there and do it. Just stand there, hold your hand out with food, wait for one of the birds to come down. After it's done, you can edit the video, crop it down to when he launched, lands, flies away. Typically they have some kind of music with them the whole time. Easy to spot. Let's just say from the time the bird launched and landed and flew away was 4 seconds. In slow motion, it's 8 times that, so 32 seconds long. And you know, the average person's brain doesn't process that, but I'm hoping AI can. I use slow motion for the flight because make kind of a boring video if I left everything in full speed. That's one of many reasons I don't do live stream, because I don't think it's that exciting. The birds come at you so fast you can't even see them. It's very rare that I run across somebody feeding animals, wild animals in their yard by hand. Very rare. I mean, a lot of times at first glance that's what it looks like, and then it turns out no, it's not. Disappointing. But I really, really love my followers and people I follow back and friends that feed animals. They're kind of crazy like I am. They talk to them like they're little humans. That's a connection. So if my little brain can learn the difference, seems to me AI can learn the difference and then separate us. For whatever reason, the algorithm, being AI, and groups me in with them and then starts showing me their videos every once in a while. For obvious reasons, I don't want to see those. I think AI has a long way to go. There's a lot of learning to do, if you will. People aren't going to learn, though. I understand this. The average person's not going to learn anything if they can manage to get to the end of this video. I get it. And a lot of people, they don't care. It doesn't matter. I get that, too. And the only people that'll be offended by this video are bird park feeders, because they know exactly what I'm saying. Keep this in mind. Snow White was a Disney character. Nobody walks into a random forest and starts calling birds out of the trees, or birds just come land on them. It doesn't work that way. It looks pretty in a video, simulating that that's what's happening. That's great. That's not happening unless it's a bird feeding park. And that brings me back to the beginning and the reason for this video. The people simulating a connection with wildlife and the people that have a connection with wildlife in their own yard are not cut from the same cloth. And I'm hoping AI can figure that out. I wish people could figure that out.